Okay, so this is a video showing some of the advantages of having the RAM upgraded in the original Xbox to 128 megabytes. So I'm going to start with just showing you some videos that I've captured with a video capture card earlier with the 64 megabyte Xbox and the 128. So first I'm going to go with some games that ran in Final Burn Legends. You can adapt it to CoinOps as well, but um, uh, CoinOps just uses the Final Burn core, so it's the same thing essentially. So here, I'll just start it up here. So this is going to show you three games and what happens when you launch each one of them with 128 megabytes of RAM. So Alien Challenge first.
Round one, fight!
So you can tell with the extra RAM, the game runs really well. It runs full speed, no troubles running it whatsoever. It'll be very different with 64 though. You'll see that. It's not an easy game either. It's actually pretty challenging. So that's the first one. And DD Crew is next. Probably the most popular out of the three, I would think.
Shut up already! Check it out! Shut up already!
This game is pretty challenging too, I have to admit. I haven't played that much of it, but definitely will sometime soon here. So that's DD Crew. Next, Desert Breaker. also do like a running move in this game. I didn't do it while I was playing it here, but where you're invincible for a little bit of time when you're running. It's kind of neat feature. So those are the 3 videos for in that go in the Final Burn Legends core with an Xbox with 128 megabytes of RAM. So next we'll do the 64 megabyte. The video with the 3 same games now on the 64 megabyte Xbox. Let's see what happens. Alien Challenge first. This one actually doesn't say out of memory, but it runs into this problem every time. So, Alien Challenge we know does not work on a 64 megabyte Xbox. Neither does DD Crew out of memory. Desert Breaker, same thing. So it's impossible to run these games on a 64 megabyte Xbox. So this is just one of the advantages here. So we know those 3 games in Final Burn Legends play only on a 128 megabyte Xbox. Now there are some others that I know of. I'm going to show you one of them in MAM EOX 128 plus. I'll show you first the 128. It running on 128 megabyte Xbox. Here we go. It's called Monster Maulers. You can integrate this into CoinOps as well. You just put it in the ROMs folder and it'll run it with the proper core. Just as easy as that. These games, of course, don't have video previews, though, in CoinOps because not many people have a 128 megabyte Xbox, so... It said this emulation is not 100% on this game, but I find it pretty damn good. I don't really see anything wrong with it, so... Okay, so maybe this is the only thing that I found wrong with it, is that right here it lags. It just kind of takes a little while to get going. So, just wait a little bit. There we go. It's a Japanese game. The bosses or the enemies in this game are really neat. I find it's a really good game, actually. I think very underrated. It wasn't very popular, I don't think, but it's pretty dang good. Some of the enemies are a lot harder than others. This one's actually pretty easy, the dragon. So there you go. Now let's try that same game on a 64 megabyte Xbox. I want to let you know that there's no difference in the settings when I play these games on these emulators. It's the exact same from the 64 megabyte to the 128. Out of memory again. See, it requested this much and it didn't have enough free. So that's another one there, one that plays in the MAM EOX core. So now I'm going to show you another one here. This game is actually a Chihiro game. I think I'm pronouncing that right. The Chihiro was really similar to the Xbox, so theoretically I think all the games should be able to be played on the Xbox. But here's one that is fully working. There is another one, Outrun 2 beta, but I haven't been able to get the game files for it yet. I'm working on that. But so let's see what happens when we run the game in 128 megabyte Xbox. It's called Virtual Cop 3 here. This game is awesome, to say the least. Like, in the video here, I'm using the Xbox controller to play it. You can do that, or you can also use a light gun. Actually,
move into position.
I use the Top Gun EMS 3.
The local police
Works
will
fine.
be backing you up on this mission. You can get in from the door on the right. Copy that?
The only problem with the light gun is that you can't enter ES mode. With the Xbox controller, you hit the left trigger and it's like a slow motion mode. You see the green meter here that represents the ES mode, the amount that you have to use, and with the controller you can use it at any time, but with the light gun there is no left trigger, so it's still really good though, even with the light gun. Right there I use the ES mode.
Reload!
Awesome game though. There's 3 modes: easy, normal, and hard. And I've read that there is another mode. If you do well enough in all 3, you can go to another stage, supposedly. This game was supposed to be ported to the original Xbox, but it actually never made it.
Reload!
Right now I just got a different gun, the MP7. You can't hit any civilians, and you can't die. If you do, you lose your gun. And you need to collect ammo too for that gun as you're going along. So you see ammo pop up there.
Reload!
Great game, lots and lots of fun. Now let's see what happens when we try to run the game on 64 megabytes. Or an Xbox with 64 megabytes of RAM. That's about it. we don't get any further than this. Well, I didn't get any further than this. I've heard of some people making it to the point where you choose your mode, but as soon as they choose it, the Xbox freezes up. But with 64, this is as far as I've ever made it. So there's something else that I'd like to show too. Some things that people have said about the RAM upgrade. So here, this is Brittany Spares on the CoinOps project. Brittany Spares is the founder of CoinOps. So this is what he's got to say on the subject of the forum post is CoinOps 5 for 125 megabyte Xboxes. It says a lot of games work with 128 meg support. CPS 3 in Final Burn, so the Final Burn core, within CoinOps, he says. I've tried it a few times and I haven't got it to work yet, but he claims it does work. There's Desert Breakers, which I showed you, DD Crew, which I showed you as well, and Sengali Strikers. I tried Sengali Strikers, and it's just a little bit slow. You run it in the MAM EOX 128 core, and yeah, it's just a little bit slow. I'm sure with tweaking you could get it up there, and then there's Metal Hawk. I've tried that one quite a few times. It runs great, but the controls are off. There's an option where you're like throughout the game it tells you to move down, and I can't figure out what button to press, or there needs to be a gamepad mod there, or something needs to be changed, the configuration, in order to get it to work. But other than that, the graphics, it works fine. And then there's Monster Maulers, which I showed you as well. And he says, and more. I'm not sure exactly, like there's Virtual Cop 3, there's Outrun 2 for the Chichiro that work presently, but I'm not sure which other ones, but like Brittany Spares says, and more. So I'm sure there is, I just don't know about them. But so let's see now on xbmc for xbox.org.uk. This is the XBMC for Xbox main site, and so I saw that on the new version 3.3, it was listed, one of the features, better 128 megabyte RAM support. So I wanted to know exactly what they like, how that's implemented, or how it works. So I asked this question on the forum. I said, hey guys, I got a question. How does the new version of XBMC for Xbox have improved 128 megabyte RAM support? I actually do the RAM upgrades and would really like to know how having 128 megabytes of RAM over only 64 megabytes is beneficial while using XBMC for Xbox. So Buzz here, he's an administrator for the site. I thought if anybody should know, he should know. So this is what he said here. 3.3 can use the full 128 megabytes with the right BIOS. Individual BIOS 5003 is one of those BIOSes. 128 megabytes showed up on the older XBMC builds, also with the right BIOS, but the GPU was limited to the lower 64 megabytes. This meant that also in some cases you could use more RAM, but you might see crashes as the GPU ran out of usable memory. Now this is changed with an MTRR hack that sets unmasked RAM to cacheable, writable, or write back, which allows the GPU to use the full 128 megabytes, meaning the full RAM is available to XBMC. Now what this really means is just that pretty much XBMC is going to have fewer crashes because of this if you have 128 megabytes of RAM. High graphics, stuff like that you're running in and stuff like you know, just high graphical stuff and or numerous things that say you're watching a video and you click out a full screen and it's playing in the background and you're doing other things. It's using a lot of RAM. You could have, if you had a 64 megabyte Xbox, it could freeze up on you. It crash. It's way less likely with a 128 megabyte Xbox. So that's what Buzz is talking about there. So now here's another one here. This is on the ISO zone, and a member by the name of Jin. He does the RAM upgrade as well, and he's very experienced, and he did the RAM upgrade quite a few times, and this is what he had to say one time about it. I was used to buy 100 broken Xbox Mobo for $20 and remove the RAM and add them to working Xbox Mobos for a total of 128 megabytes. Made emulators, XBMC, and some games run smoother. So he found it beneficial in this sense. There are emulators, other emulators that use the 128 megabytes. Surreal 64 is one of them. Well, there's the MAM EOX. It uses 128. And yeah, I'm not sure totally about the others, but they could very well use it. So this is another advantage to the 128 megabyte Xbox. I know there's other things too, like if you run an operating system on your Xbox, like say Linux, or I think it's Windows NT, the RAM will be picked up as well, and you can make use of that as well. I'm not sure how many people run an OS off of the Xbox anymore, but that's something else that you could do as well. So that concludes the video for the positive things that you get out of having a Xbox with the RAM upgrade. So thanks for watching.